Welcome to Pick Central. My name is Martin Mush. I am here with Big Ev. It's just us two today. I think Clemmer's going to join us for a little baseball soon. Today's show is brought to you by the Barstool Sportsbook. I have the app. Big Ev has the app. I use the app to bet Dustin Johnson this weekend, 40-1. He had a chance, didn't go well. But if you had Wyndham Clark, you would have probably done very, very well. I have the best offers on there every single time. Download and sign up for Barstool Sportsbook today. Big Ev usually has a hit parade parlay on there. That's always plus money. That is up a good amount, right?
It's doing all right this year. It did really good last year. We've been chipping away at it.
Yeah.
The most recent one hit. We're feeling good.
So go get your Barstool Sportsbook app. And terms apply. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, got a lot to talk about today. Well, kind of, because this is a spot now where it's just baseball, and then we had the College World Series happening, and then we had the U.S. Open happen. Let's start with the U.S. Open because that's probably the most important thing. Everyone was complaining all weekend. That's all I heard was complain about the LACC, right? Am I wrong?
Well, what part? I mean, there's multiple complaints.
They're all complaining.
There's a variety of complaints for a variety of different reasons.
About the course. People were complaining about the fans.
Yep.
And, so the fans, okay.
Well, did you see what, they came, there's a reason.
Yeah, so they complained that
explanation.
It's more of it's like the Super Bowl, basically, when it's more suits are there than common men folk.
The corporate open, they called it.
Yeah, the corporate open.
I guess there was basically 18,000, I'm give or take, I might be off by a little bit, but 18-ish thousand tickets were available, and pretty much only about 4,500 of them were really available for true, fans.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Where was this?
In L.A.
That's L.A. for you. That's just L.A. for you. That's who they are. This isn't.
But I think see, if they made more available, more people would have made them more available to just normal fans. We would have got a better turnout. Because it is true. People were hitting crazy putts and big late in the rounds. I remember Fowler had a long putt. There were some big putts where you just weren't getting much pop.
No, 100%. I would rather, believe me, I'm not for the suits. I don't want them to have all these suites and they don't give a fuck about it. They're there to network and shit. And that's just what LA is. LA isn't real life. It's more who you know, who we going to get a deal from, how am I going to use this person for my own. That's just what LA is. And that's what happens at these big events. They use it for probably networking. And you know what though? It ended up being a great tournament. It ended up being even the end where I know they do it for a lot of things. Well, I liked when all those every single fan basically at the tournament was on the hole 18 for the last putts.
Oh no, that's great. I just felt I think what happened was that with the first day having a few guys put up such big numbers, it almost made it impossible for the guys after that to come back. Because they made the course so much harder days 2 to 4. Mm-hmm. So if you really think about the only guys that really were at the leaderboard at the end were obviously the Fowlers and were guys who had big numbers day one, or you had a couple you had Fleetwood had put up a huge number day 4.
Yeah, he had
Smith,
263s.
Cam Smith put up a huge number game 4, but they were so far back already. They would needed Clark and Rory to just totally just
do what Ricky
just shit their pants.
Do what Ricky
did. I think the problem was I was me and my dad were texting during the tournament yesterday. Unfortunately, he was down in Atlanta with my sister, but so I didn't get to see him. But we were just talking about the tournament, and we were kind of agreement where it just felt kind of stagnant because no one could make a putt. Mm-hmm. Scheffler, I mean, they ended up making a couple down there, but Scheffler just missed a million birdie putts. Rory, it felt the same way.
Rory made one putt.
It was just constant two putting, which is solid golf. There's nothing wrong with that, but it just felt it just felt so stagnant. No one was really there was no back and forth. Clark just kind of had the lead and just stayed there. And I think it's very cool. Nothing against Clark. It's very cool to see someone kind of come up, win that first major. He's 29. He just won, I think, his first tournament like a month ago.
Yep.
Wins his second one, like it's the U.S. Open, which is actually kind of funny because I guess Rory did the same thing. Won like his first tournament. He was younger, obviously, won his first tournament, and then like a month later won the U.S. Open as his second win all time for a PGA. But I don't know, just no one it just felt like there was no like on a big day like a U.S. Open. I want to see like a slugfest in the sense of I want to see like big birdie putt that lands like a haymaker in like a boxing fight.
Yeah.
And then someone comes back with another big shot, like drills one within like 5 feet and not like a tough, like a big iron shot. It just felt like we didn't get a lot of that, and it kind of just stayed what it was.
Yeah, no.
This besides Fowler falling off, the standings basically just stayed exactly what they were.
Yeah, like Dustin Johnson.
There was no real movement.
Was -6 after the first day. I was like, oh, I got a great chance. Second hole, he quadruple bogeyed, and then
The fact that he still hung around was crazy.
But that day he ended up being even, so he was -6, and then he ended up being -5 or whatever. But I don't know. I agree with you. It wasn't like I thought it was a good tournament. I wasn't like, I don't know. LA never gives off like an awesome atmosphere in anything. I feel like even like Chargers games or Rams games, it's always like, look at all the celebrities here and like all of that. I don't know. That's why I didn't feel like the complaining was for sure right. But I was like, it's kind of what I expected. I had a problem. And Ebo, I want your opinion on this as well after Big F's. But that Rory shit, I don't care what the rule is. That's insane. He got a free drop.
Oh, when it was
that fucking in that rough. Because listen,
I don't think it was free.
It was free, 1,000%.
But didn't he end up? But I thought that was his.
I believe he got relief for an embedded ball
because it broke the ground.
Yes, correct.
And I was like, okay, but no matter what, that is your fault. You fucked that up. You hit it into a spot that didn't get over where that is on the course. It's like right next to the green. It should be a stroke, even if you hit it. Like if it was on the course, right, and there was some like on the fairway, and there was like a big ass fucking hole at some point or a divot that you didn't create, maybe. This was a fescue thing on a rough that was on the course for that reason, and it got stuck. You should have to take a stroke. I thought, and he got to lie right next to the fucking green.
Well, it was in tough rough. He still ended up bogeying the hole. I think that's why I got confused. It was a free drop. No, you're right. It was a free drop. But I don't know. It's tough because I understand the aspect of like it's embedded so much you literally cannot hit. Like there was he couldn't have hit the shot. Like there's no way to even like you couldn't even like see the ball.
Yeah, which basically to me is out of bounds. So that's your fault. Drop it. You know what I mean?
You know, I definitely
get it. I get the.
I don't think you're like way off. Like I understand what you're saying. Even part of me like agrees a little bit, but at the same time, like the ball is in play. Because I guess I don't know the ruling where, like, for example, kind of what you said, like, say it's super muddy out or something, and you hit a ball that, like, lands and it just goes straight into the ground.
I think they get free release.
That's a free release as well. I'd assume it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's embedded. So if that's the case, then I get it. I mean, it definitely was very fortunate for him because that could have been a disaster. I mean, you saw Clark, I think, a hole or two before that, have, like, a similar... It wasn't embedded, but it was in such a spot they almost couldn't find it, and he missed the first time. And there was a few guys that had spots where they like missed shots like that because they whiffed because they literally couldn't even get to the ball, or they struggled to the first time around.
What are you passionate about in there? I love when Zog gets passionate.
Meghan Markle.
Okay, please.
Yeah.
Are you up to date on this, Marty?
Yeah, I'm up to date. That they gave her $20 million.
Politics.
$20 million. That's not politics. This is Spotify.
Yeah. Okay,
gave her $20 million, and she did 12 episodes.
Not that. She would get the staffers to ask the questions, and then she would just punch herself in. Dude, so she wasn't even present for any one of those fucking things.
That's
$20 million. Imagine.
Crazy.
That's the thing, though. A lot of people like don't realize, like, and this is gonna sound so bad coming from me, but like talking and like interviewing people isn't as easy. Like just because you're a celebrity doesn't mean that you can do it. I feel like I'm not good at it by any means, but it is a little like you can't just. Some celebrities are fucking boring. Suits was great. Suits was a fantastic show.
Oh, I forgot she was an actress.
Yeah, she was an actress. Being an actress, I can't be an actor. I can't do that. You can't do. I don't know. That The whole thing is nuts, by the way. But people can't stand them, right?
Well, that's what they're giving too many who the fuck want to listen to her on a podcast?
That's what I'm saying. Just because she's part of the royal family doesn't mean that
she married a guy.
But, I mean that moves the needle for. I mean we have royal family people here.
It does, and that never makes sense to me.
People here that
not that many. Not that many. We do have some, but
but I mean there are people out there that obsess over.
They do. It's like a reality TV show.
I really don't get it.
I know.
Also, there's like the illusion that you're going to get a peek behind the curtain of this very secretive family,
and they never will.
Yeah, that's fair.
They'll always keep it PC or whatever. But no, that was good. It's a topic today. I appreciate that.
She's hot in the streets.
Back to golf quick. I'm happy for Wyndham Clark. I think it's just people get a little upset sometimes when it's not like a big name or whatever to win. But he's, like you say, he's 29. He deserves to win. He fucking stayed strong that entire.
Dude,
he was in a couple of bad spots on Sunday where I was like, this guy's going to implode, and he didn't. The last shot he put on the green was amazing. His mom, just or recently died, and it was an emotional moment with his sister and his brother on the course. I don't know. I thought that was really cool to see, and you could tell how much that meant to him. It would have been funny if Rory did win after all this shit, but Rory, I almost was thinking about this. I don't think Rory's ever gonna win again. I think he is he's never going to win. He's always going to be close. He'll always be top 15 and around there. I might say it right now, Rory's never going to win again. So especially with the LIV. He couldn't win without the LIV guys.
He's going to win the British Open now.
No, he's not going to win. He's not going to win.
British Open.
I'm going to say it right now, Rory McIlroy is never going to win a golf tournament again.
Excuse me, the Open.
Yeah, the Open.
Now, honestly, Wyndham, his wedge game was ridiculous. It felt like whenever he needed a wedge shot, he would just stick it right next to the fucking pin.
Yeah.
Every time. Well, I think what it was too was it was funny where it felt like this to me. I don't know how everyone else felt. I felt like going to set because the numbers were so big. I felt like it clearly was a 4-horse race, and it was 3 big names and then Wyndham Clark, and then he just ended up being the one that won it. So I feel like that was a little not to say a damper, but. People thought, is Rory gonna finally win the major? Is Ricky gonna finally win his first ever? After being so close so many times, having some big rough patches. Last year he had to wait to he was an alternate, didn't even get to qualify.
Yeah.
And then is Scheffler the guy's been I don't know if he's still the number one, but he's been
he's number one.
He's playing unbelievable the last few years.
Scheffler's top 5 every tournament.
He's always in the mix. Does he have the big comeback from down 3 strokes at the beginning of the day? Does he come back and win it? And obviously just steady Wyndham Clark, just the guy with the least name, least accolades, everything just comes not out of nowhere. He's been playing good golf recently, but just kind of just keeps off everybody.
Yeah, Rory has carved out a Phil Mickelson career so far. Phil was always the guy that couldn't win. He would be runner-up every time. Now Rory over the last 10 years has 3 runner-ups, 10 top 5s,
so Rory
20 top 10s.
Early, right?
But he's still carving out an all-time great career.
He won 3?
He's won 4.
He's won 4.
He won 4 in his first 6 or 7 years on tour, and he hasn't won yet.
And then it's just all right,
he's won since 2014.
That's a long time.
Phil's was just the U.S. Open, right?
Right, but he had a lot of majors, but he was always the guy that was second or third.
Wasn't the U.S. Open? He came in second in the U.S. Open 6 times. Was it the U.S. Open? I think.
Yeah, he's coming second 6 times at the U.S. Open.
I knew it was he just could never get over that hump.
Twice at the PGA.
But he's at least, what was Mickelson won?
Once
6?
at the U.S. Open.
How many majors does Mickelson have? 6?
The Open Championship.
5 or 6?
Mickelson has 6.
6? Oh, yeah,
so Rory's only 2 behind him.
Yeah, Rory's much younger, obviously.
But it's crazy that it's going to be 10 years.
Yeah.
That's wild.
He will get one.
Nah, he ain't gonna get shit.
Do.
He's not gonna get shit.
I'm the guy. I don't want him to. Don't really like him, but
I don't mind him.
He was the golden boy too. He was the guy we were watching viral videos of him as a 8-year-old chipping into a washing machine.
I remember he had the famous thing where his dad made this bet when he was a teenager that by the time he was 25 that he'd win the British Open,
something like that.
And he ended up winning it for he won millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Wasn't he meant to pick up the slack when Tiger had his madness?
He was kind of. He
Yeah.
was supposed. He was like the next guy for
Next guy to
sure.
do it,
He's probably like the second most famous person on the golf.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I would
golf
say.
course.
I would say actively, he's like the biggest star.
Tiger's always going to be number 1, and he's probably number 2.
Yeah. No, I would say that's fair. Definitely fair.
Like Koepka
He's
was
close, yeah.
Koepka has been coming
But
close.
Koepka kind of
but
has like people who
live
don't, like,
stuff too. Yeah.
Like Koepka, like, but even I think before the live, he always had people that were kind of like always like kind of like the more like suit golfers. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
the more,
yeah, yeah.
uppity golfers, like they weren't probably crazy about him. Like Rory, I think he's always kind of had the people's like the true golfers respect.
The 3 biggest names are probably still, if you went in order right now, it would go Tiger, not including Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer. Right now, it's like Tiger, Phil, Rory, probably the 3 biggest names. Because
Yeah.
Phil, even though he's not good, he still moves the needle.
No, Phil
all the
still
time.
moves the needle, and then dude Fowler like was ginormous at a point too.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. 1, he did a lot better because he cut his hair, because that hair was never looked good on him. But 2, you know what? He'll never win if he keeps having those sunglasses not on his ears. Who's wearing sunglasses on their? Did you see how the
But it's
glasses
the
go
way
up
he's-
here?
I agree with you, but it's the way he wears. It's the way he wears the hat.
Yeah, well, fix the
It
hat.
has to be like that.
He was in shambles on Sunday because of that.
Yeah, but he had it like that all week.
Yeah, I know, but Sunday's where it counts.
No, I think it's what I saw.
But Fowler, how many? You know what? Actually, because I'm sure, because Fowler at one point was literally like the biggest name in.
No, not the biggest. He was up there.
Oh no, never mind.
He was definitely up there, but he was never the biggest. I mean, everyone's kind of had little like runs where they were the best. Like Spieth obviously had his run.
I mean, dude, like I know they
Brooks had his
did this
run.
on Full Swing, so it wasn't me, but they were going by like Instagram followers, and Rory has 2.6 and Fowler has 2. Like it's like a way closer than people think.
Oh well, he was kind of a part of that. Like back in like what was it? Probably
He was wearing bright colors, like this guy was cool on the course.
But there was that kind of that like mid 2010s, like where there was kind of this dream group of like Spieth and like JT and Fowler and like Smiley Kaufman, who he fell off. But these group of young, exciting guys, and everyone's like, oh, they're gonna be kind of the future. I remember they did that they were going crazy, like going viral. They went to the Bahamas and they're all playing golf barefoot.
Yeah.
They were just like running around smacking the ball and just like sprinting after the ball and whatever. Then everyone thought they were gonna be the next like it group.
Ebo,
Obviously, Spieth and JT. Spieth is really falling.
So that's what I was gonna say. When's the last time Spieth won? Because he didn't even make the fucking cut.
I can look it up. I think he won the U.S. Open, no?
He's one of.
I think did he win recently?
No,
no,
not
he's always.
recently.
I know Justin Thomas.
He really fell off since what was it? That Masters that he.
2017 Open Championship.
2017. So it's been a little bit.
What does he have? 3?
What's up?
How many majors does he have? 3.
3. Yeah, 3. Sorry.
He's won the
So the
Masters.
Masters. He won the Masters in 2015. The U.S. Open in 2015.
That's what
Big
I thought.
year
And
for
then
2015.
I was he was on fire.
Yeah. So like at that time he
He
was
came
one of the
second in
biggest.
in the championship.
Well, he had
PGA
that. People like when he had that little run there. People thought he was going to be like the next Tiger for a
Yeah.
second.
I don't think there's ever
Or
gonna
at least
be.
or at least have like a big, not maybe the next Tiger, but
No, I
thought
know.
he was going to be like the next guy to like carry.
Everyone says
off
like
greatness.
everyone says what you just said. Like sometimes like is that gonna be the next? We're never gonna have a next Tiger.
No,
one's ever gonna
not
do-
actually. No.
No one's ever gonna come close. I think to
No.
what he's done. But yeah, that's some golf talk because I don't know. I will say golf does kind of go underrated as a summer sport where it's
great.
like
The
I love
majors are
watching it, especially Sunday. I weirdly didn't like golf's prime time.
It was too late.
It was too late. I like it when it's at like 3:00 in the afternoon
Me too.
and it ends at
agree.
like 6 or 7.
It felt weird watching, especially at East Coast time.
Yeah, what it end at
Close
9?
like almost 10 o'clock, and they
Yeah.
at 9:30. Too late.
Everyone's like, "Oh, I love golf prime time." I was like,
Because it's like a lazy,
I'm watching.
lazy Sunday activity where like maybe on East Coast time it's wrapping up around like 6.
Yeah, there's nothing
You know what I
better
mean?
than
Like,
a
that's-
Masters Sunday fucking nap, and you wake up on the hole 16. It's like, holy shit, let's go! Like that's the best part about it. Like 9 o'clock, I was like, I gotta go to bed soon.
It was dark. It was
It
literally
was
dark.
so
outside.
dark. Before we move on to the next topic, I want to talk to you guys about NASCAR. Upcoming Ally 400. Ally 400 Nashville Speedway, June 25th, 7 o'clock on NBC. Parker McCollum pre-race concert. People love that fella. Love him. I see him on
Big T's the biggest Parker McCollum guy we got.
I see him on my TikTok all the time. Guitars and fast cars under the lights in Music City. NASCAR, let me tell you something. NASCAR is one of the best at promoting things because they make it's just basically, hey, you're going to come. There's going to be a race, but there's also a party pretty much every single time. And it's one of the most electric atmospheres I've been to. I haven't been to this, but I've been to the Daytona 500. It was amazing. So they're going to be guitars and fast cars under the lights in Music City. Busting with the Boys will be honorary race officials for the race. What the hell? Those guys are everywhere.
Literally
everywhere.
They don't stop.
Good for them. And bigger news, the new Barstool Bar in Nashville will open to race fans all weekend. Come hang with the Barstool talent, 7 to 9 on Friday, June 23rd, and Saturday, 6 to 9, June 24th. 2023 is the 75th anniversary of NASCAR. So Nashville, June 25th, 7 o'clock Eastern on NBC. Go use it. Go watch it. It's actually fantastic watch on a. Also, is that Sunday? Sunday, another good Sunday thing to watch. All right. Before we go to baseball, Clemmer just joined the show. A big trade happened over the weekend where it was like I found out like 2 hours after. So basically, Bradley Beal had the Wizards by the balls, and like you're probably gonna get Chris Clemmer in this trade, and I'm gonna go to the Suns, right? Could have been Big. I could have said Big Ev. You're getting Chris Clemmer and Big Ev and Marty Mush in this trade.
It's a good haul,
and we're gonna get Bradley Beal.
Well, I think he was pretty much the only person right now that has a full no trade clause.
And good for him.
Besides maybe like LeBron or something.
So, yeah, to finish that out, Bradley Beal got traded from the Wizards to the Suns. The Wizards got back because the Suns have no first-round picks to give. So they got second-round picks, and they got Chris Paul
Landry
Shamet.
And pick swaps.
Second-round picks and pick swaps, yeah.
And pick swaps.
That's a big deal.
No, it is a big deal, but it's not a big deal because you traded Bradley Beal.
No, I understand.
Who is a fucking superstar, and you got...
Star.
You don't think he's a superstar?
No, star.
He puts up like the numbers.
Very good player, really good player.
Puts up the numbers of a superstar, and he got paid like one.
But he also hasn't been around. Like, what was it? Just John Wall with him?
Well, yeah, I mean they tried Porzingis and Kuzma these past seasons. He wasn't.
That's just
fully healthy.
Porzingis also he's good obviously, but he's fallen off. Like this is the first time he's going to be with like obviously two superstars.
This is a nightmare for the Suns.
This ain't gonna work.
I think so too.
This is a nightmare.
It's not gonna work.
I think they're already $20 million over the salary cap, so they're gonna have to move Ayton, of course, who they're paying $32 million a year.
He's gonna get traded. You're saying?
I don't know. I don't know if they will.
They might have to. They're gonna have to do a bunch of vet minimums and bring in guys or retain T.J. Warren and bring in guys like the Lakers did this year.
Like Terrence Ross probably will stay.
Yeah.
I think they made a mistake.
This is like when you're 10 years old and you get your first sports video game and you just start trading for all the superstar players in your team. You're going to just play with all the best players in your team. It works in the video game. It doesn't necessarily work in real life.
So, but if you're a Suns fan, you now have Durant, you got Booker, you got Beal. That seems like a pretty decent group to build around. No, I mean not to build around, but to have in your team. I know there's only one basketball though.
They can't build around it. That's the problem.
Right.
And I think the reason I think it's a bad move is because I think one of their biggest flaws this year was, especially after they made the trade for Durant, they have no depth anymore. So now that's even worse now.
Right. We saw that in the end of their season.
I think they have no depth, and they basically have three of the same style player. Like they're all like, listen, they're all in their own right. They're all phenomenal players.
They're all scorers.
All great shooters, great scorers. Like can get a bucket at any time. But there's one ball. I think they all play very similarly. And I just don't know how that's going to mesh together as a team basketball game. Like I don't know if did they get better? I mean, probably because they got
better.
They didn't give up much. So that's the only part where I think
they got rid of the guy that didn't want anyway.
I take a slight step back only because they didn't give up much for him. So that part I can say like maybe not a total maybe not the worst move in the world, but I just don't see how this team gets over the hump in the West over some of these good teams, even if they were to make the finals, over like a team like the Bucks, whoever, if the Celtics can get better, the Heat can get better. Because I think we're about to see a huge offseason in the NBA.
Oh, we are.
I think Lillard's going to go with the Heat. I think that's going to be a massive, massive chess piece where they all of a sudden become, obviously they were close already, but where they become a legitimate like favorite to come out of the East potentially.
So I think that this trade, what you just said was, if you get offered this trade from the Wizards, I think you'd be an idiot to say no. Like I think that I don't think that this necessarily means that they're going to be a contender no matter what. You have Kevin Durant on your team and Booker. You're gonna. It depends on how they mesh. We have no idea because you look at the Nuggets this year. They had a superstar, they had a star, and then they had a bunch of role players that played exactly how they needed to play, and they were unbelievable. Right? The Suns are gonna have like no role players. They're gonna have.
They don't have any more left.
They have 3 superstars or 2, whatever you want to call them. 3 very big players, and you never know how it's gonna play out, but. I do think that you have to look at, if you're a GM for the Suns and you say this is on your table, it's for Chris Paul and Landry Shamet and the picks and whatever, you'd almost feel like an idiot saying no to that.
Yeah, I almost, this might come off as a hot take. It might sound crazy. I almost think they were better off before the Durant trade. And the reason I say this is because they gave up so much depth, and where Durant's obviously still one of the best players in the league. I don't think he's quite what he was like 2-3 years ago.
I can't stay on the court.
We're in that trade, exactly. He's been hurt a lot. Where they lost Mikal Bridges, who's a really good two-way player, young, has showed he was phenomenal in the Nets. Cam Johnson, like another great shooter, good like wing defender, a starter potentially, or like a phenomenal 6th, 7th man on a good team. And I think losing guys like that hurt them more than it helped. Like just throwing Durant on the roster. Like you said, he didn't. I would like to say before I like go. Totally, that's the worst move in the world, and blah blah blah. I'm curious if they can all stay healthy for a season to really like coexist, because Durant didn't really get to ever like fit in with them. Like he didn't really get to get a feel with them in the regular season. He played like a few games and then just played the playoffs.
Right, and that's also why this trade though could be. It's so early in the offseason. They can get acquainted a little bit, and they'll have the full season together.
He just has to stay healthy. But
yeah, they all do. That's always,
I don't know. I just see like I don't know. Like I said, they're all similar players. I mean, who knows? My only fear is too, like we saw in the Nuggets series, they were the only team that was able to beat them twice in the series in the playoffs. But the 2 games they beat them, it was Durant and Booker going for like 40 each.
But that's
it was them going, but it was them going like berserk. Like Booker can't shoot 80. He was shooting like 80% from the field.
But that's
not sustainable.
That's the other thing where the devil's advocate. Now they have a third person that can drop 40 in a night.
Sure, but I don't.
But it doesn't have to.
What happens with Chris Paul?
He stinks.
No, but does he get bought out? What happens with him?
Yeah.
He'll
go somewhere else.
He's going to go to the Clippers. He's going to go to the Clippers. It's going to be, look at this big 3. It's going to be Chris Paul, Paul George, and Kawhi, who all can't stay healthy, and then Clippers are going to lose in the second round of the playoffs. Literally what's going to happen. I can almost guarantee.
I've been rumoring the Knicks too, and I really don't want that.
If he goes to the Knicks will be the stupid.
But he'd have to be a backup point guard on the Knicks.
The Knicks need nothing to do with him. He just don't need him.
I want no part of him on the team at this point in his career.
But yeah, so that's. I also do agree with you. I think the NBA is going to be a shit show this.
I think it's
going to
be nuts. I think there's going to be a lot of big trades, more than Lillard. Who knows who else could? Like you said, maybe Aiden's a part of a big move. Maybe this is when Miles Turner finally goes.
I think they can get some good stuff for Ayton though.
Yeah.
Good pieces.
Yeah, but I just wonder what direction, because I don't know. Teams trading from, you're trading for, he is young, but a big man who probably hasn't lived up. He definitely hasn't lived up to being the number 1 pick, especially in a draft where Luka was there. Even like Trae Young, who didn't have a great year, but still I would take him over Ayton for sure. A few guys that, I don't know. I don't know how much teams are going to be willing to give up for
all you need is depth.
For a $30 million like young center who has been underwhelming so far.
But we talk about you're not looking for those giant pieces. You're just looking for those role players now.
But I think even the good role players, I don't know. I'm curious what his market is. I guess is what I'm saying. I'm very curious. I don't know. It could be much more than I think. It could be less. Because I just feel like someone like him, they'd be more. People want to more give picks, that's not what the Suns need.
No, they just need someone will give it. Someone. a smaller market team will take him on and give him some of their pieces.
Honestly, maybe that's where they go. Maybe they go to the Pacers and like maybe they're able to make some sort of like a Miles Turner type swap, which I think would fit their team much better. More defensive oriented, a center, but he can not score quite as well as Ayton, but can still score. Plays very good defense, good rim protector. I think that could maybe help their team more. You obviously need in the West. You need someone that can guard Jokic. I don't know if really anyone can just guard him, but he would be their best option, I would say.
Yeah.
As far as anyone on the roster.
All right. So let's move on to baseball now. Our teams stink.
Horrible.
And
Okay.
this is the Yankees. It's just like we're not going to do it for Yankees Mets because I just got to talk about it quick because they're not even in the conversation to be talked about right now. Yankees are in shambles. They can't hit. You can't have McKinney and Jake Bowers in your lineup. It's just horrible. Mets they're horrible as well. It's not even like we're worth talking about. We don't even need to fight because we both suck. Deal?
Yeah, I guess the only thing I would say is the Yankees still there is a hope, a glimmer of hope.
There's
Where
hope.
you got Aaron Judge, right? If you have Aaron Judge in your team, you guys are really good.
Bader should be back soon.
Yeah, well, Bader. If you have Aaron Judge in your team, you guys are good. If you don't have Aaron Judge in your team, you stink. And I get worried with that toe injury because for some reason toes just take a long time to heal. I don't know what that's all about. But, I'm hearing now like All-Star break with him. And it's like, if that's the case, you guys are cooked. Now, if you get him back next week, okay, you're back in business. The Mets are fucked.
I mean, it's what Boone was like, yeah, you come back next week, could be All-Star break.
So that was the problem where they don't know when he's going to be back. And it's like, well, we got to know. If they don't know, that could be later than All-Star break. Also, I didn't realize All-Star break is like July 17th.
Yep.
Like, that's so soon. Baseball is flying. We're almost at like, what are we at, 80-something games
Almost
now?
Right, but we're at almost, I think, the 70-game mark right now.
It's insane.
Yeah, so this time next week will be almost the halfway point. So, yeah, I mean, you got a pretty good idea what you got with some of these teams. It's starting. Things are kind of really coming together. You're going to start seeing some trades. The trade deadline now is less than a month and a half away. Things are going to start cooking there. One team to watch for is the Cardinals. They just took 2 out of 3 from the Mets. I was at the game on Sunday. But they're not a good team. They have a lot of problems. They have 2 starting pitchers that are in walk years. Jordan Montgomery and Jack Flaherty are both guys that are free agents at the end of the year. So if the Cardinals are moved, they could move some pieces soon.
I don't know if you think they're really going to move like Arenado or like
Goldschmidt has 1 more year in his deal. So I think that might be one thing I kind of threw out there. I think would be kind of fun. Imagine if Goldschmidt was traded back to the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty wild.
Wow. That would be wild. I would like that. I'd love to see him on there. There's a team I want to talk about that I'm declaring good. And they are doing well right now, so it's not that crazy. But I love watching them because I watched them a couple of times this weekend. The Marlins.
Marlins are good. I like
They're
the Marlins
good.
a lot. There's some issues with the Marlins. If you believe in run differential, they have a negative run differential. They've won a ton of 1-run games, which statistics will tell us that's usually a sign that they'll pay negative dividends on the back end. Now they have Jorge Soler, who is hitting the hell out of the ball. He's a legit power hitter. He's having an all-star year. Obviously, you have Louis Arise, but the pitching staff's pretty solid, right? Yep. And that's with Alcantara not pitching that well this year. He's got an ERA about 4.8, 4.9. If he can pitch like we know he can, the Marlins have a guy, Yuri Perez. The guy's made 8 starts. He's a 20-year-old rookie. His ERA is 1.7, I believe. That is insane. He's 20 years old. He's got 8 major league starts. This guy's an ace already.
Yeah.
Luzardo's been great, too.
Luzardo and Braxton Garrett.
Very
if you look
good.
at his last month.
Rock solid.
He's ramped up. He's leveled up. He's back to the Braxton Garrett we thought we were getting 2 years ago. The Marlins have some interesting things going on. If they could make a few moves at the deadline, right? Maybe shore up that bullpen a little bit. Maybe get some offensive pieces, especially for that infield isn't particularly great. They could really contend for the wild card.
The Reds
look good.
cooking.
Look good.
I think they're a half game out now.
The Reds are.
Came out of first place.
Rico had that great bet. What was it, 17-1 odds? Reds to win the division.
Got it as well.
That is. That's just smart.
Honestly, the timing literally basically took it. 8-game win streak.
100%. And I'm a guy who will talk about a future that's doing well anytime, but this is way too early to talk about.
Oh, it's so early.
But the National League Central
It's
a good
stinks.
bet. It's a good bet.
More just the values
We
there.
can
Right
we
now,
can say
but
good bet, but it is. We cannot.
Long ways away.
It's
Look at what they've done, though.
It's
Matt
good.
McClain. He's shoring up that infield. He's hitting hell out of the ball. Ellie De La Cruz is one of the most exciting players in baseball. And then Andrew Abbott, 3 starts, hasn't allowed a run.
Yep.
I mean, this Reds team, wow, they're cooking.
Jonathan India.
I have a team that
guys.
is very interesting that I think that's happening is the Angels, because Mike Trout is like not even for Mike Trout, he's not having a good year. Like
No, he's not. It's the worst year of his career.
What's he batting, like 260, 270? I know
He's slugging, I think it's
the batting
475.
average, I know, isn't up to par.
Yeah, he's not slugging 500, which is strange for him.
Going into the season, I was like, okay, the Angels are gonna be mid again, just be very middle of the road, whatever. They're playing great right now. They're like, I want to say 41-33, something like
I don't know
that.
if they're that. I know they're have the same record basically as the Astros. Which, if you told me that before the season, I would say that's fucked up.
Spot on, 41-33.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, they're going to be a team that Otani gets traded in the middle of the season. Just fucking get everybody out. I think they're going to probably just end up, if they stay like this, they're going to have to keep everybody and then try and add. They're going to be buyers.
They made a lot of moves in the offseason. They went and got a lot of depth pieces. They got Brandon Drury, who's a nice infield, can play a bunch of different positions.
I like him.
Hunter Renfroe, this guy goes from team to team. All he does is hit 30 home runs every year.
I know.
And, they had some pieces didn't work out. Tyler Anderson's been a huge bust. But they did
add. Rendon's back.
He's not back to the Rendon we knew in Washington.
But he's not last year's Rendon.
But he's not the Rendon we've seen. Right. Yeah. There's like a weird middle ground with him. And, and Shohei Otani. I mean, this guy is unbelievable.
This is insane. He leads all hitters in home runs, leads all pitchers in batting average against, leads Angels in average home run RB. I'm not even going to keep going. It's slugging, OPS, hits, triples, ERA, wins, strikeouts, whip, BAA, innings pitched. What?
There's 2 award locks right now. National Rookie of the Year is Corbin Carroll, and AL MVP Shohei Otani. Like, just full stop.
I honestly, it's Otani. If he gets hurt, it's the only way he doesn't do it.
And same with Carroll.
He's a full win. Like, if you go by wins by replacement, he's a full win better than any player in baseball this year. And we're in June.
I mean, they're going to end up renaming the trophy after this fucking guy.
No, he's going to have to. They have to. He's the most insane thing we'll ever see.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, it's not just, like, my lifetime. Like, this hasn't happened since literally Babe Ruth. And even he didn't do both. He was a pitcher, then a hitter. He really wasn't both. This has never happened before.
Yeah, no, I always used to try and find a way to, like, not like him. He is, we need to appreciate everything he's doing.
How much money does he get?
He's going to get $525 million.
I think you're right. He becomes a $50 million man, right?
Yeah.
At least he's literally an ace starting pitcher and like one of the best hitters in the league.
You have to pay him.
It's like
okay, what did Aaron Judge get?
330.
330? 320? Yeah. Okay. He's a hitter.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you add whatever fucking
add a Cy Young.
Add a Garrett Cole. So
he
basically got $300 million. Now we're at $625 million.
Fucking give him 700.
And for real, if we're doing it for real, you're not going to get
round up in inflation.
Yeah, you should. But if we're doing for real, I'd say about 525.
I think you're right.
It's like what he'll get, and that's going to be and that's a steal.
Yeah, and like you said, if you do that, if you're getting Cole and you're getting Judge, like you guys are saying, you're right. Like, is $500 million a bargain?
Yeah, it's a bargain. Anything less than $1 billion.
He would if he. I mean, I know, like Stephen A. said it a while ago. He got in trouble. Not really trouble. I think it's just stupid. I mean, if he was American born, he would be like the biggest star on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also think playing the West Coast hurts.
Oh, no doubt. Being the Angels definitely.
A few different things go against him.
The Angels do him no favors.
Yeah.
But I don't even think he would have to. But if he was on, even if he was on like the just like, I don't know. If the Nationals were like good again, he was on just like the Nationals, and he was doing
the Phillies or something.
Phillies, sure. If he was on the Phillies, he would be a fucking superstar.
Yeah, way bigger than
He'd be the biggest thing in baseball.
I mean, how big is he in Japan?
Oh, I'm sure he's the biggest star.
Must be.
I'm
sure he's the most famous person in the country, probably, or one of them at least.
Isn't he the biggest baseball guy, just solely because of Japan?
He probably is the most famous baseball guy.
He could be in the world.
But like, we're saying just like United States, like
it just hurts.
He has 6 million on IG.
Yeah, I'm huge.
Who's the most famous guy in the Major Leagues? Aaron Judge?
It's Otani. Just
Probably
because
him.
international.
No, I'm saying in the U.S.
Oh, the most famous U.S. player? Yeah, Judge.
Yeah, probably.
Probably Judge,
Yes.
right?
Probably, I guess.
But Otani's still up there just because, but that's more like.
No, Otani's more famous than Judge.
No, I know he is. He
Oh.
definitely is. And
Worldwide, yeah.
Among
worldwide,
U.S.
for
players,
sure.
you're asking.
Yeah, worldwide for sure. Otani definitely is. It's just more. I don't know. It's just.
I really hope the Angels do make the playoffs this year. Mike Trout has never won a playoff game. He's made it to one division series and they got swept. I really want to see those guys in October, see how they can do when the lights are the brightest. I think that would be great for baseball.
Oh, 1,000%. Do you think that Otani is on the Angels next year?
I have no idea.
I don't
This
think
is-
they
we're in a. I mean, he is going to ask. He's going to get so much money. There's going to be so many teams that could use him. Obviously, with Otani, I kind of throw everything out because we're in unprecedented waters here.
Yeah, never seen it. But
Yeah,
I,
so
I don't think the Angels can afford him.
I think everyone can afford everybody. I think these owners all have way more money than they pretend to have.
I'm saying I don't think like with Trout, they're already paying Trout whatever, millions and millions.
The thing with the
They
Angels,
paid Rendon a lot.
you're right, but Artie Moreno was going to sell the team, remember, last year, and then he said he's not going to sell the team.
Yeah, because he's got Otani. He's like, fuck it.
So you wonder, like, what he says he wants to devote more resources to the team. He's like, I'm all in now. I mean, what better way to prove it than re-sign Otani?
Isn't it crazy, though? Like, that's the case right here. We have this generational player, and he's right there in their own hands. Like, just pay him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why
Like,
would you even let that
It's
guy
just
go?
worth it. You know, I remember when the Angels back in the day was one of the most scariest teams to play in the playoffs with that fucking rally monkey. I was so scared of that. They're like when the Yankees would play them, I would those fans were the most rowdy fans in the world. I would love to see the Angels get to the playoffs because it's embarrassing. Like we have Mike Trout should be the most famous guy in baseball, but the guy fucking it's kind of I don't know. It's no playoff wins is disgusting.
It's partly him though as well.
Oh yeah, he's also
He has no interest in being super.
he could be like all he does is
I don't blame him. He does his thing. I mean, it's to each their own.
no, he does his own thing, but he's also just not. He's not an entertaining guy.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if he woke up 5 years ago and decided to be Dennis Rodman, he'd be a superstar.
Best thing he's done is join Stephen Che's league, like Stephen Che becoming his manager. Like that's the famous funniest thing that's happened to him. Like everything else was like he's an Eagles fan. That's it.
And even I remember I think it was last year they had him mic'd up for on Sunday Night Baseball. He is like a little bit of a character.
Oh, he is.
He's a guy's guy. Like you can just tell, like you hear him talk. He's
definitely a guy's guy.
There's a Northeast guy.
Big Eagles fan.
Yeah, big Eagles fan. He's into hunting. He's like a bro's bro kind of thing. But he just has no intention of really, I think, like showing it to the media, other than little bits and pieces like that.
Who do you guys think, if you had to guess? Everyone in the booth can guess too. Who do you think unless you know it, don't guess. Who do you think the second favorite is to win the World Series? Or let's do 1-2. Who's the first and second? So you guys you guess first.
1 is the Braves, I'm pretty sure. I think it is at least.
I'll tell you guys the answer after.
2 is
Dodgers.
Okay, well there's a guess.
That was a guess, but
That's what I thought was crazy. Braves, fine, whatever.
The Braves and Rays, by far the best teams.
The Dodgers being number 2.
That's insane.
I thought I was gonna bet the Dodgers today to win a World Series.
Braves are 1, right? The
Braves are 1.
The Rays should be in that.
I was like, all right, the Dodgers been kind of a little skid. They're 39-33. Let's maybe get a little more value on them. Like I thought it was gonna be 7-1, maybe. I was hoping maybe 8-1. They're 5.25.
The Dodgers are.
The Dodgers are. That's ridiculous. They have not been like that good.
Like they're still good. Obviously, I agree. They're not what they were the last couple.
Let me give you guys the Dodgers starting pitching staff right now. Okay, you have Clayton Kershaw.
Yep.
Very good. Tony Gonsolin.
Yep, good.
Very good. Bobby Miller. He's off to a good start. Then it gets weird. Then you have literally nobody else. You have Syndergaard, Urias, May, and Grove are all either hurt or in the minor leagues. You have Victor Gonzalez has made 1 spot start for them. A guy named Gavin Stone made 3 starts. He's a 14.4 ERA. They started a guy named Emmett Sheehan. He had 1. He did have 6, innings of no-hit baseball. But they just don't have a 4th or 5th starter right now. So I can't say they're going to win a World Series when they literally have 3 starting pitchers.
Oh, 100%. That's why, the second best odds is
That's
insane.
wild.
I'm trying to like Bueller's not going to be back this year, is he? Or is
I don't know. A lot of these guys, Urias is
I don't
going to
think
be
so,
back
right?
this year. Could Bueller come back at the very end of the year? Maybe. Noah Syndergaard's been a disaster.
awful?
This is a team, and Clayton Kershaw, he's awesome. He hasn't made 30 starts since 2015. So if you're going to rely on him to go 200 innings, that's just not going to happen. He's
Yeah.
going to fall apart.
So there's I was looking for real good value bets for World Series, right? So the top 5 are Braves, Dodgers, Rays, Astros, and then Rangers, Yankees. So it's top 6.
Okay. Rangers are very good. The Yankees.
So Rangers, I'm not betting 12-1 with DeGrom out. I know
The rest of that staff's great. You got Evaldi, Bruce Bochy, the manager, and you got Corey Seager back now.
Oh, they're great.
That team is good.
But first time they haven't been in the playoffs like that in a while, where it's like I don't want 12-1.
It's a whole new regime, though.
It is.
Whole new regime.
Hey,
all new,
I like them.
Josh
Believe me.
Jung is incredible at third
new
base.
all-star players, new coach.
It's a good team.
What do you think about the Phillies?
They are red hot right now. Won 12 of 14, I believe.
They're 32-1.
They are on
That's
fire
a
right now.
Good.
I don't hate that.
I think that's a good
Either.
bet. Where to get 32-1, where a team that was there last year that added Trey Turner, obviously they lost what's his name, first base,
Rhys Hoskins.
Rhys Hoskins, and then the other one I don't like them. I know Big Ev doesn't like them, but it's just like the sexy team. They're 23-1. It's the Padres.
I like them a lot. They've won 7 of the last 10. They finally got their shit together.
No, I've been watching.
That is I think they are a team that, especially the National League West, the Diamondbacks are leading the West right now. Don't sleep in the Diamondbacks, by the way. They have 2 front
they're
runners.
They're
35-1.
That's what I was going to ask. The Diamondbacks are an interesting number.
And Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly in a playoff
Tell me
series.
this.
Not horrible.
So the Phillies are 32-1, right?
Yeah.
Which they're 38-34. They sucked in the beginning of the year.
They're really good right
They're
now.
getting back to they just played. They were in a little slump. They're back. You want to go in a slump? Beginning of the year is perfect time. The Cardinals are 40-1, 32-1 Phillies. Cardinals are 40-1. Cardinals are trash.
The Cardinals are not a good baseball team.
How is that? So that's where I'm like, you know what? That Phillies bet is a great bet.
Where are the Giants?
The Giants.
Been on fire.
Giants are on fire right now. They have tons of
So
depth.
sneaky.
They have a nice starting rotation.
They have no
The
true.
St.
star
Louis
power.
Cardinals have better odds to win the World Series than the Giants.
That's madness.
Yeah, I don't see the Giants winning it, but it's
Neither do I. I'm just saying.
what they've done. They have no real star power. They have some good pitching.
So what they did was, remember, they lost out on Correa, and they spread that money to a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
Conforto, Taylor Rogers in the bullpen. Some of the moves haven't worked out, but they've really diversified that money. It reminds me of the 2004 Red Sox. Like when they traded Nomar, they got a bunch of pieces back. Mankiewicz, Orlando Cabrera, Dave Roberts. And that's how they won the World Series, that depth. And I wonder the Giants kind of doing that, kind of spreading that wealth around. I don't know. I think the Giants, I don't think they're going to win the World Series, but at those odds,
No, it's not. It's not terrible. And then the Mariners.
They sneaky almost kind of have like a
Mariners have problems.
yeah.
Mariners, no Robbie Ray. Julio Rodriguez is looking like a huge sophomore slump for him.
I mean, look, the
average
Marlins
player
are
right now.
80-1. That's not bad either.
It's not.
I don't
Especially
think
if Yuri Perez can keep playing this, and then you got Alcantara if he can step up in a 5-game series.
80-1 is wild for a team that's like what place are they in right now? Second?
They are the
place.
top wildcard team, I believe.
You know who's waiting in the wings too to come back is former number 1 overall prospect Sixto Sanchez. He's been out since 2020.
Forgot about Sixto.
Sixto Sanchez is a great name.
I mean,
Name and when he
When he had that wild the COVID year, he was fucking fantastic. And
they made the playoffs that year.
He's rehabbing on his way back potentially in August. So
And you got to
a playoff
think,
run.
80-1, and you're in the playoffs right now. Come on.
and you got to wonder if they're going to make some moves for the deadline.
They're 30-1 to win the NL East right now. I don't know if
They're not
going to
win the NL East.
sprinkling, but
They're not going to win the NL.
You
they have
get
the
80
fourth worst odds.
Let's think about this though. You get to 80-1, right? And you're just in the playoffs. They win the wild card.
Right.
You can definitely get some money back already.
maybe.
You don't think so? 80-1, they're gonna start
80-1.
giving-
Probably some. I just think it'd be underwhelming for what you'd stare at it.
I would not want to face Alcantara and Perez in a
I'm
short
betting the
no,
Marlins
no,
to win.
no,
And
no.
Braxton
I would-
Garrett
no.
pitching game 3 or Luzardo.
I'm betting the Marlins to win 80-1.
It's not bad.
Get home.
I
don't hate that.
I'm just going to ride that ticket out. I think the cash out option is going to be what you want it to be.
Of course I'm gonna write. Every time I think about cash out options, I'm like, let me maybe do it. Then I'm like, well, I want to be right. So, let's do picks a little quickly.
I have a pick here that
early.
it's not going to be on there, but I've been doing these picks one a day. Che talked to me and told me.
I want you to do it last.
Okay, I'll do it last.
Explain it. Big Ev, go.
All right, so I am on the.
Oh, juice bag, Ev.
I did a couple. I didn't realize they were that. They were a little less when I put them in.
I know.
But,
175.
The Tigers is literally just fade. I've made so much money fading Jordan Lyles.
I bet the Tigers.
Jordan Lyles is having an unbelievably horrible year.
0-14 when he pitches.
He's 0-11 personally.
The Royals are 0-14 when he pitches. He is atrocious. If they lose, well then fuck me. The Reds. I've just been on the Reds train. They just swept the Astros. They're just on fire, playing great baseball right now. Brewers. I like the pitching. Burns hasn't been what he was last year. He's still decent. I like the matchup at home today. They are playing the D-backs, who I do love, but I think Brewers get it done in. I like the Nationals. I think good pitching matchup at home. Josiah Gray's been pretty good. Been a bright spot in the rotation. Getting the start at home. I'll take plus money.
Sorry, I'm reading something about the NBA. The Blazers reportedly prefer Zion Williamson over Brandon Ingram and potential trade for the number 3 pick. My sense from league sources is that Portland's preference is Williamson, who would be a weapon in the pick and roll and handoffs alongside Damian Lillard. So that's still
interesting.
I also do agree. I'd rather Zion, even though he has not been healthy ever. I still would rather take a chance on Zion than.
But I think their problem is then. I mean, they would want to build around something regardless. Like I think they could still make the trade even if this did happen. But I think this could be the offseason that Lillard just says like trade me. Like, I'm over it.
Unless they have a legit chance of getting these.
Zion's
not the guy to do it.
Zion doesn't get you to stay. Like,
No.
you're like, yo, that's not like.
No, 1,000%.
When you could all of a sudden be on the Heat, where I wonder what the Heat would have to give up to get him in terms of like whether it's like Harrow or like what kind of guys what kind of pieces they need
definitely
to give up.
Harrow.
But I mean, but a big three of Bam, Lillard, and Jimmy Butler sounds very enticing.
I mean, Scoot Henderson's going to be really fucking good too at the number 3 pick. Scoot Henderson, Zion, and
or it's either going to be
well,
him
they
or,
wouldn't have the number 3
either
pick.
him or probably Brandon Miller.
Yeah. My picks are Marlins, Cubs, Twins, and Padres. I like the Marlins a lot at plus 132. Yeah, Clemmer, you're doing like kind of trusted data things?
Yeah, Chase said I should start doing this. He says, he goes by my desk, and I'm always on Baseball Reference. He's like, how much time do you spend on Baseball Reference? I'm like, I don't know, a couple hours a day, every day. I'm just always on it.
I know.
Because it's fun. And he's like, you should do props. So I'm starting to do this. I'm 1-1 so far. The one I have today is Jack Flaherty, the pitcher for the Cardinals. I have him basically getting the over on 17.5 outs, so pitching 6 innings. His issue is walks. He's leading the National League of walks. But the Nationals, who they're playing against, have the least amount of walks in the National League. So I think that will help. Plus, Flaherty is a guy that throws 100 pitches every time. That Nationals offense stinks. Flaherty's better on the road. I like that one. So that's my pick of the day. My backup pick of the day is the over-under on the Cubs-Pirates game. It's Drew Smyly versus guy Beto. The reason the over-under is 9. The reason I like it is because it's the same exact matchup. They just faced each other like 6 days ago. So, the hitters have a good read on these pitchers. Beto is a 27-year-old journeyman. Not like he's any good. Smiley I like. But, I don't know. Cubs-Pirates over-under is interesting, but the real pick of the day for me is Jack Flaherty over 17.5 outs.
All right. That's trusted data part 2 of
Clemmer.
I'm just going to say one thing. I can't say what's happening, but I got a great scumbag golf coming. Great. Ebo, what do you think?
It could be massive.
Could be massive.
Could be massive.
Could be 0.
Yeah, there's a wide range, but it could be massive.
Could be massive.
Yeah,
I am very excited for it.
Yeah. I got a couple lined up. I could probably say Sammy Adams. Me and Sammy Adams are gonna make a song on the course, which is gonna be nice. But then today's gonna be big. Big Ev, you had a fantastic weekend in betting fighting.
MMA I did, yeah.
Yeah, did a
MMA
fantastic
did great.
job.
Carter's insane.
Muhammad Ali's grandson. I watched that fight, or was his great grandson? That was just the most unfair fight I've ever seen.
No, and
Is his grandson good or bad?
So he's like, he was a football player. He played at Bishop Gorman. Like he actually, he played with with like Tate Martell.
Oh, really?
And like Dana White's son went there. They all went to like in Nevada, like big football school. Haskell Garrett played for Ohio State. Was in the NFL. Played a bunch of guys. DTR was their quarterback.
Okay.
DTR was the backup behind Tate Martell. Crazy stuff. He was a receiver. But so he's doing fighting now. He's in the PFL. He's still like an amateur, but it's kind of funny. They've just been honestly, it's funny that Ebo says this because this is by far the toughest fight he's had.
Yeah, I saw that he's won 4 or 5 in a row by first round.
Like
TKO,
the last one,
is...
I was there for one of them. He just fought like he's an amateur, so right now you're building him up, you're throwing him cans. But the last time he fought legit like an old man, making like his debut, like a 36-year-old dude making his debut, he just knocks everybody out.
Now, Marty, would you hang out with this guy? You hang out with celebrities' children. Would you hang out with celebrities' grandchildren?
My roster of celebrity sons are pretty good.
And he's got a brother who's like actually a Nico Ali Walsh.
Hey, I watched Creed.
Or a cousin, I guess.
The first Creed movie for the first time on the plane this weekend.
You hadn't watched any of the Creeds?
Why?
I wanted to. I've been dying to. I just never got to it.
Fantastic.
And I watched the first one. It was fucking awesome.
Great.
Yeah, the first one's the first one.
That's why
the first one is potentially as good as any of the Rocky movies. I think it's up there. Well, Clemmer will never give credit to anything post like 2000.
That's not true. I just saw The Flash last night. It's great. I loved it.
But you would never say it's better than like one of the older.
Rocky won Best Picture.
Yeah, see that?
Great movie.
It's not that shit.
Movies sucked in the 70s.
Yeah.
We did not. The Godfather came out in the 70s. What the fuck are you talking about?
You're right.
The 70s was the greatest decade for films. What a fucking
trash.
moron take. That's the worst thing you've ever said in this show.
I truly think it's as good as any of the. It's up there with any of the.
Just because you were born in the 70s doesn't mean everything was the best. That's the show.
What are you doing here?
The Yak is up next.
Jesus Christ.
See you tomorrow.